guys, welcome to 6 Minutes, the knockout wrap-up version of 6 Minutes. First, I hope all of you are staying warm and have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all of that. We just wrapped up the knockout down in Orlando, Florida. It was really a fantastic tournament that included 64 teams, nearly 600 athletes from 11 states, and that was in the high school boys knockout. We also had a girls division knockout, which was tougher than a year ago, and a middle school division as well. I was told that the middle school division and the girls both doubled as far as their size goes from a year ago, meaning that the level of competition just keeps getting better and better and better. So it was a great tournament and a great time in Orlando. Far warmer than it is where I am at the moment. So I'm gonna miss that 70-degree weather in Kissimmee. Anyway, let's jump into this. Let's cover the takeaways from the knockout. And I'm not going to talk about the middle school division. We will start with takeaway number one, being the girls and the girls champions. And I'm not going to get into their tournament a ton, but I do want to go ahead and recognize the champions. At 100 pounds was Kealoni Vega of Osceola, who beat Mia Bella Lopez from Orlando Freedom in the finals. Your 105 champion was Gabrielle Tedesco from Lake Gibson. 110, Emma Ball-Knight from Spring Hill. 115, Annalie Picado from Braddock, who beat Cameron Galvin in the finals. A big win for Picado. 120 saw one of our out-of-state champions in Zao Estrada from South Carolina came down and beat another out-of-state hammer in Carly Thomas from Bob Jones. We also had an out-of-state champion at 125 in Sierra Reiner from Spring Valley up in West Virginia. She came down and wrestled exceptionally well, beat, again, another out-of-state, if we're talking about Florida, in Jasmine Jenkins Bay of Columbus, Georgia, in the finals at 125. 130, we saw Brielle Bibla take the championship. 135, Gabriela Perez. 140, Sofia Delgado. 145, Jenna Mustafa. 155, Maya Bethel. 170, Grace Leota. 190, Cheyenne Cruz. And up at 235, Yoseline Perez from South Dade. And those were your champions from the girls division, which, like I said, was far deeper than it's ever been before. A really good tournament. I only have highlights of a few. Unfortunately, they were running very closely to the men's semifinals. And I can't split myself in half, even though there might be plenty of me to do so. Anyway, all right, so let's jump into the other takeaways, the takeaways from the men's tournament. And I want to go ahead and start by saying that like I said, there were almost 600 athletes there, or just at 600 athletes in high school boys division. There's only so much time in this, and it's likely not to be 6 minutes. In fact, it definitely won't be 6 minutes. So, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about any single finals match or anything else. These are the things that I saw while watching the tournament. And with so many mats going on and everything else, I certainly missed a great deal. But here's what I saw from the 2 days at the knockout. All right, so let's jump to takeaway number 2, and let's talk about South Dade. I mean, I personally thought South Dade was the favorites coming in. They just have a really deep team, and they showed that. Top 10 featured, number 10 was Summit from Tennessee, You had Palmetto Ridge. Jefferson from Georgia, Osceola. Buford for Georgia came in at number 6. Mill Creek from Georgia came in 5. Cass, Georgia, 4. Jensen Beach. And thank you to the Jensen Beach crew. They found me and actually gave me the shirt, and I really appreciate it. Is not only actually fits me great, but it is a sharp design, and I really appreciate that. And Jensen Beach had one heck of a tournament, finishing 3rd. Lake Gibson was 2nd. And yeah, South Dade. And South Dade did it. They only put 2 in the finals, all right? And unlike some other teams, I mean, Mill Creek had 2 champions, and I think they had 3 in the finals. Yeah, Monty Mills was in the finals as well, so 3 in the finals. But South Dade does it elsewhere, like they do not every single year. 12 of their 14 wrestlers, and they actually only brought 13 because they didn't bring on 113. So 12 of the 13 wrestlers scored points for them, and 5 placed somewhere between 3 and 6. E.J. Solis was 2nd, and Sawyer Bartelt was 1st. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win a knockout title, and how they've won so many state titles in the state of Florida in 3A. They get it done with depth, and it is a team effort. Hats off to Coach Duck, Coach Balmaceda down at South Dade. Boys were battling all weekend. They looked great, and yeah, they took the championship. All right, let's jump to takeaway number 3. And no more monkey for Cooper Haase. Yeah, Cooper came in. He was one of the ones that we talked about in the Bracket Busters, and he was able to get the monkey off his back by taking the 152-pound title over a very game Gianni Maldonado of Lake Gibson.
One rack.
Unfortunately, one wrestler, Tyler Washburn, who I think is a fantastic wrestler, and I really like Tyler as a person. He fell in the finals to freshman Antonio Mills of Mill Creek to take 2nd for a 3rd time in the knockout, and as a senior, he won't get another shot. So the monkey is off Cooper's back, but unfortunately, Tyler was not able to execute that and get that to happen for himself. All right, let's jump to takeaway number 4, and let's talk about the multiple knockout champs that were crowned I would say this weekend. It wasn't this weekend, just over the last couple of days. First and foremost, Sawyer Bartelt, South Dade, 220. Now a 3-time knockout champion. He wrestled fantastic. Obviously took care of business in the finals there, but he really hammered pretty much everyone. He had the most he earned the most team points of any wrestler in the tournament to earn his 3rd title, and will look to become just the 3rd 4-time knockout champion next year. Also earning two titles, were Jake Krapps of Cass, Anderson Heap of Osceola, and Frank Tito Solorzano of Lake Gibson. each of them took another knockout title this weekend. Congratulations to all 4 of them for owning multiple knockout titles. All right, let's jump to takeaway number 5. And when we entered the tournament, we looked at lots of different weight classes. But for me, it really came down to 3 weight classes that I thought were the deepest and perhaps the toughest. That was 138, that was 160, and this weight class.
Go for it, pass it.
195 pounds, featured the only 2 nationally ranked wrestlers in the finals, in Brian Burburija and Luke Cochran. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, because it was held to the main event, it was the last match of the tournament, and those 2 did not disappoint. High-level wrestling. Both were second a year ago at the knockout, and this year, Brian Burburija was no longer a bridesmaid. He took the win over a very game Luke Cochran to take the knockout title at 195 pounds. Also, no longer a bridesmaid was at one of those other weight classes, and that was 138, where Drew Gorman, who took second last year to Cole Hunt, fought his way through to take the 138-pound title. All right, takeaway number 6. You know, this didn't dawn on me until I got partway through the finals. I kept looking out because I was having conversations with different people around me, and they were like, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? And we were having conversations, and I kept mentioning the number of sophomores that were on the list in the finals, but not only in the finals, they were also champions. We had Drew Gorman, who I've already mentioned, but Sebastian Degennaro of Jensen Beach, Gunnar Andrick, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, Dominic Bambinelli in what might have been the single best finals match of the tournament. In maybe my opinion, Bambinelli over Minto was a fantastic match. And last but not least, you had a sophomore heavyweight versus a freshman heavyweight in the finals at the knockout. That is crazy. But Jacob Levy of Carrollton, Georgia, took home the knockout title at 285. All right, let's jump to takeaway number 7. Is that where I am? I think I'm at number 7. And one of the things that we talked about, Corey Haase and I talked about leading up to the knockout, was who was the best wrestler to would never have won the knockout. We talked about that. But one of the other things that we talked about was who was the biggest bracket buster ever in the history of the knockout. Well, that fell big time in this weekend. So let's put this into context. 10 of 14 weight classes, the number 1 seeded wrestler won. Okay? In 2 weight classes, the number 2 seeded wrestler won the weight class. One weight class, the number 3 seeded Andrew Punzalan of Cypress Bay took home the 106-pound title, and he was the 3 seed. And then we had the number 9 seed. Penton of Winter Springs came from what we might consider an unseeded position outside the top 8 and beat the top seed Tyler Secoy in the quarterfinals, battled all the way through, and ended up downing Gunnar Holland of Osceola, the number 2 seed, in the finals to take home the 170-pound title and now the biggest bracket buster in knockout history. Congratulations to Elijah Penton. All right, takeaway number 8. I already talked about the sophomores, so let's talk about the freshmen, because there were some fantastic freshmen led by 113-pound knockout champion Antonio Mills. Antonio Mills beat Tyler Washburn for the title, but he wasn't alone. There were 6 other freshmen that made the podium at the knockout, which is unbelievable. I don't have all the statistics in front of me. I don't know if that is more than usual or less than usual. It seems more to me now that I've looked through a lot of the knockout history and everything else. But I guarantee you're going to hear names like Dallas Russell, Roman Bilardo, and so many others. There were 2, Nicholas Blake, I think it was. There was a couple others also, freshmen that made the podium, and I just kind of off the top of my head was kind of just pulling out names, but they wrestled exceptionally well. Last thing I'm going to leave you with is a couple of statistics that I found really interesting. First and foremost, because we just talked about the bracket buster. So you would think that the 170-pound bracket wasn't maybe seated correctly or whatever. And the truth is that if you look at the seating accuracy of all 14 weight classes, 170 wasn't the worst. Actually, 106-pound had the most variance, the most change in the seeds. 170, I think, was number 11. But one thing I really want to pay attention to is how well the seeding was done. The seeding actually came in exactly like the Ironman, and actually way ahead of the seeds from just last weekend's Beast of the East. So the seeding, if you look at what we call seeding error as it goes through it, was actually quite good. Yes, so there were, I think, how was it? Yeah, 11 unseeded wrestlers made the podium. So just 11 out of, 6 times 14, so 24, 84? Yeah, I can do math in my head. 84 spots. So 11 out of the 84 were unseeded. Otherwise, the rest of them were seeded somewhere in the top 8 and made the podium. All right. One more thing. I looked at, because one of the things I did, I also spent a lot of time talking to the college coaches, and the thing that kind of came out in my conversation with them was that they really were looking for resilience, how wrestlers bounce back from wins, or how they handled their wins, or how they bounce back from a loss. And that prompted me to go through, and I looked at the quarterfinalists. The quarterfinalists that lost, when they moved to the backside, they were 42-14. So out of those quarterfinalists that fell in that round, just 14 lost their next match. I think that's pretty good, although I don't know what that is compared to, say, the Beast of the East or the Ironman or some of the other tournaments. And the semifinalists went 22-6. 22 of them that lost their semifinal match were able to fight back, win their next match, and wrestle for third and fourth. Just 6 of them lost and actually fell to fifth and sixth. All right, so yeah, that's it. And I will hopefully be dropping a bunch of the finals matches. I videoed a bunch of finals matches, a bunch of semifinals matches. The knockout, once again, was everything that we expected to be. It was a fantastic tournament. First, right off the top of my head, it was exceptionally well run, I thought. I thought Jim Price, Rick Tribbett, and the entire crew there. I love the stage in the middle of Silver Spurs Arena. It was a fantastic setting for what is developing into one of the top 10 tournaments in the entire country. So it was really great to see teams from West Virginia and Ohio, New Jersey join us down here with Kentucky and Louisiana and all the Southeast states and competing at this year's knockout. And I look forward to seeing you guys next year. Look for those videos, and yeah, congratulations to everyone that won a championship. Congratulations to everyone that placed, and really, it can be a humbling experience to go into a tournament like that. But how well you respond and come back from any type of loss in that situation to make a run at a state title in your own state is hugely important. So, you guys take care. See ya. Bye.